Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of the Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We come to you on a week-to-week basis from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, the technology, services, and products that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And as we have a planet of 9 billion people by 2038 and possibly 12 to 13 billion by the end of this century, how are we going to be able to take care of all these people on planet Earth? And that's what Emerald Planet's all about. We come to you looking at the solutions, the best practices from around the globe as we create the Emerald Planet. Hello, welcome to the Emerald Planet. We're making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And seeing the long-term impacts of climate change. We're glad to have you. Thank you for being with us.
Looking around the globe at different water projects, because water is life, and if we added water and oxygen is life. And we're looking at the country of Kenya, which has a daily challenge with water, and particularly when you have the pastoral citizens of its country, the Maasai, who depend on their cattle. So in many of these villages, they have to not only have sufficient water for the citizens, but also for the cattle as well. And so we're talking with Rotarian Peter Macharia. He's the president of the Rotary Club of Ongata, Rongai of Nairobi, Kenya. And we're going to be talking about safe drinking water, both for the community, the cattle, and now using solar water pumps. Peter, welcome to the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you, Dr. Sam. Great to be here.
We're really glad to have you, and I tell you, the number of water projects that you have with your club is absolutely amazing. But tell us a little bit about the community where you have the safe drinking water, both for the citizens that live there and the cattle.
Thank you, Dr. Sam. The Rotary Club of Ongata Rongai partnered with the RC Arizona Club in America to set up a project in an area called Marata Lake. It is within the Masai Mara Conservancy area, which is a very dry part of Kenya. And the communities there are predominantly cattle, they keep cattle, so they are nomads, and they depend a lot on water for both their animals and themselves. And over the past few years, we had a situation where families in that area had to walk very long distances in search of water. This affected their quality of life in terms of, one, waterborne diseases, because the quality of water that they were getting was questionable, because they used to get it from dams and shallow wells or rivers. So there was a very big problem of waterborne diseases. Secondly, the women in that community, because of walking long distances, were unable to take care of their other chores within the family. So that was a very big problem in that particular community.
Yeah, and I want to have a couple of maps that I want to show here. One is the location of Africa, and through the satellites, now Africa is dead center as far as the global maps are concerned, which has never been in the past. And also, according to the chartographers, is that it's actually its proper size because of the satellite imaging. But the whole thing about Kenya being one of the main countries and a very stable nation, it's really important that we look at the projects that you have going there. And so your area is down towards Tanzania, the border between Kenya and Tanzania. And that's a very beautiful area of the country. But tell us about getting people involved, and why did people want to leave the cities and go out to a more rural area to be involved in a water project?
The needs in that particular community are extremely, they had dire needs because that whole area that is towards Serengeti that you just showed, that is where if people know of the wild beast migration, it happens in that location. But what normally happens is most of the year, this is a very dry area. They only have rains probably twice a year, but other than that, it is very dry. So we realized there was a very big need in that part of the community. And the organization that we partnered with had a connection to our Rotary Club, that is Maasai Educational Research. We call it MAC. So they had, if you look at this picture, there is the founder who's in the red cap. He's called Maitame, Dr. Maitame. That is, he came up with a proposal to be able to assist this community because this particular project was going to help a huge group of people because it covers about 10 kilometers in terms of what it does. So, oh yeah, thank you for that map. So this shows the area of the project and what it is all about. So what happens is we are going to drill a borehole, set it up with a solar pumping system, and then do pipes that will cover a 10-kilometer radius. And these pipes will go to what we call water kiosks, which also have an area for animals to drink water. So it covers a community of about 5,000 people, which is huge for that kind of area. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just amazing territory when you look out from this hill over on the plains. It's just an amazing place. But looking at the people that are involved in the drilling and as part of this program, are they most of them coming from the community itself, or are they from the surrounding areas?
One interesting thing about this particular community, the Maasai, they believe that their sole duty is to take care of their cows, and they do not do what they consider manual labor. So a lot of these people that you see here actually had to be brought in from other areas to come and do this work that you can see being done here. So the contractor had to bring in people from the surrounding areas, not from within this community.
Yeah, and the equipment is huge. I mean, it's really a major project. And when you look at the size of this drill to make the borehole, it's
Yes.
quite impressive. The amount of labor and the technical expertise it takes to do all this. But getting to the water, how do you find the source of water to start doing this type of drilling? Because you're way out in the countryside. So how do you
Yes.
actually find the source of the water that we're looking at right here?
Normally, what happens is before the drilling is done, they do some assessment to confirm that indeed there is water where they're going to drill and the depth of that water before they start drilling. And you mentioned about the equipment. Actually, the contractor had a very hard time getting that equipment to where it was because of the terrain, a lot of hills, valleys, and it is mostly off-road.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
it's really rugged territory. There's no doubt about that, and
Yes.
that's a real challenge as far as any type of equipment is concerned.
Yes.
But looking at the solar aspects of that, this is really introducing new technology into such a pastoral community. So why the selection of solar energy to pump the water?
This particular area is blessed with a lot of sunshine, and electricity is far removed. So we looked at the options of doing electricity to this area, and it was going to be a bit of a challenge to this community. One, in terms of bringing electricity to this area, and secondly, in terms of maintenance of the electrical equipment and parts. Therefore, the contractor and all the project partners agreed that the best option will be a solar pump, which is slightly more expensive, but is ideal for this kind of situation because of the sun that is there throughout. And secondly, it does not require a lot of maintenance. Once it is set up, you're guaranteed at least 3 years of free running without any interference at all. So this was ideal for this location.
Yeah, and it looks like that you actually fenced it properly to keep the animals out and anyone really messing with that. But actually
Yeah.
putting in the water lines, because this is going over to the tanks as far as distributing the water for the human beings and the cattle, which we can actually see in the background of this photograph. It looks like there's a lot of labor that was involved in this project.
Yes, there was. Considering the piping, this water was going to be distributed through a 10-kilometer radius. It required a lot of digging, and the piping, there was a lot of piping that was laid. And it took quite a bit of time to have the infrastructure in place before we could actually do the water into the water kiosks. Yes, so it is a very huge area that this project covers.
Yeah, 10 kilometers, that is a large site. But this tank is quite impressive. Being an old rancher myself, I must
Yes,
say this is a very nicely built tank to hold the water. Now, this is
yes,
in order to be able to water the cattle. And
yes.
is this actually built this way so that it's going to reduce the amount of damage to the surrounding areas and also contamination of the water source?
Yes, the main reason for doing this is to ensure that there is very little contamination getting in, and also in terms of evaporation, so that once the water is full, it can stay there for quite a bit of time. And as you can see, it is pretty wide. So a farmer with a big herd can still come and have his all his cattle and goats drink at the same time. And
And we
then to
can
the left, you can see that is the water kiosk, the one that supplies not only this trough but also the community.
now looking at the community, and we're going to go out on this image right here. Why is it so important that they understand the water system? And we only have about 20 seconds left, Peter, so we have to be quick. Why is it so important to involve the community in this whole project?
We believe in projects that are sustainable and that the community can be able to own, and they can be able to live with and ensure that they stay for a long time. So here you can see we are giving the community a brief about the water, how important it is for it to be maintained well so that it can serve them for a much longer time. And they themselves have appreciated the difference it has made, especially the women folk that you can see there. Those are the ones who used to walk for kilometers looking for water, but now it is at their doorstep.
That's absolutely fantastic. This is Rotarian Peter Macharia. He's the president of the Rotary Club of Ongata Rongai of Nairobi. Thank you for being with us as we create the Emerald Planet.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sam, for this opportunity to share. Great job. Thank you.